Welcome, everybody. My name is Sam Price. Welcome to the Price Report. Here in the Price Report, every single week, we interview someone from around the blockchain, someone from cryptocurrency, someone that has some insight, has been around for a long time, and can give you some great alpha. I've been on Around the Blockchain a few times with my man, Blockchain Crusader, and I just want to bring him on into the show today. How you doing today, man? How you feeling? How's everything going?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you bringing me on the show, dude. It was great talking to you. We've had you on our show, so I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, that was a blast. Tell us a little about how did you run a show with somebody else, right? Crypto Keeper, if I'm correct.
Yes, sir.
And so how did you meet him? What was the idea for the show? And what keeps you guys going? What keeps you guys motivated? What keeps you guys making videos?
It's a crazy story, right? We met on TikTok. So he's up in Ohio. I'm down in Florida. And we met on TikTok back in 2021. I can't remember. It's been over a year, something, almost 2 years now. We met on TikTok. We were talking back and forth, going live on TikTok all the time for hours and hours. And we're like, dude, why don't we just do this on YouTube, right? And then we argue a lot, right? We disagree. He's a big XRP fan. I hate XRP, right? So we're like, dude, let's name this Debate Crypto. Let's bring people onto the show and talk about different viewpoints that we have in the crypto space in general, right? We agree on a lot of things, but we disagree on a lot of things. And that's how the show's been going. And, you know, it's been growing super fast. Never thought it'd grow as fast as it can. You know, met you, met Ben, been at these conferences and met everybody that I've been watching in crypto for so many years. And that's what's been keeping us going, dude, is just hanging out with all you guys and meeting great people in the space.
Isn't that interesting? You start something new in your life, you start something different, and it creates a pathway, a highway, and you drive that highway, and next thing you know, you're somewhere you never thought you would be, you know? When I was in Miami with Ben at Sexy Fish, I was just like, what am I doing here? Some lady asked me if I wanted to go speak at the WEF. I was like, yo, this is getting crazy. You know what I mean?
Wow,
like,
dude, that's wild.
Yeah, it was wild. I still have her email. I'm like, I don't know if I want. I told my wife, I was like, do I want to email that person? You know what I mean? Do I want to go there? I guess it would be fun and find out what the heck they're doing over there. But yeah, it's so crazy, right? But yeah, we have a bunch of articles and concepts, you know, things we want to discuss, things that I know people want to know about, things that I'm really curious about. Today was a big day. We're just going to bring up an article here. You know, Google releases a chat GPT rival named Bard, right? You knew it was happening. They weren't going to let Microsoft take the cake forever, right? Eventually, they were going to kind of step on in. Microsoft isn't going to become Blockbuster, all right? They're going to actually at least put their hat in the ring and see what they can do. They say Bard is also better, if you read the article, saying that it will act up-to-date answers, not just like a collection of answers, but it will be actually more temporal. Like it will be kind of, you know, it will be able to give you something of that time in real time into that day. And they think it's going to be, they're trying to tell you it's going to be better than Chat GPT. So, you know, with this coming through, you know, a lot of the people's thoughts are, will people write articles anymore? Like, does anyone even need a doctor's degree if they can just write in the question and give you the medication? Like, what is going on? What are your thoughts? I know you have a lot. Let's debate it, baby. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it.
Let's bring it. Yeah. Dude, so I was anticipating Google bringing this out. We've talked about this before. You know, like you said, Microsoft wasn't going to be the only player in the space, right? Chat GPT is great, but AI is only going to advance faster and faster. And Google, being Google, right, the biggest collector of data, everybody is Googling everything. All the data is filtering through them. That's why they're one of the biggest corporations out there, right? They own YouTube. They own a lot of data collection. So their AI is definitely going to have a lot more access to data than any other AI model out there. So I'm not surprised when they make these claims that it's going to be better than Chat GPT currently. I see any other AI competing against Google going to struggle, definitely. And are people going to be writing articles? Are people going to be doctors? I mean, dude, personally, for our own business, I've written up invoices, I've written up contracts, I've written up all kinds of legal documentation through Chat GPT. And Chat GPT is obviously not going to have the same, like I said, same data sets and access as Google. AI is going to be a massive player that's going to change a lot of jobs. It's going to change a lot of where humanity is headed, right? It's going to open avenues that people never even thought of before.
Wow, I mean, that's got me thinking. That's intense. It gives you this little like creepy feeling of like, are we going into the Matrix? Are we going to become pods and batteries for some big AI, right? Like, are we going to end up? It's just crazy, you know. Or will we tackle it and with God's grace, you know, use it to the best of its advantage and still keep our humanity about us. You know, I always try to go into nature. I don't know about you. I try to get out away from the computer. I have 6 screens in front of me. I'm always doing it, but thank God I have a back door and some woods near me. I take a break. I go outside. Also, even just, you know, something off topic, but for our eyes, all of us are crypto people. We're probably staring at charts a lot. They tell you at least every 20 minutes or at least 2 to 3 times an hour, step away from the screen and look outside to a faraway object. Because what will happen is your eyes get so lazy staring at screens all day long, and you actually kind of can lose, you know, like you can lose some of your
like the
ability.
long distance eyesight.
Yeah. So my wife had told me this, so I'm telling everyone else because I was doing it too much. And she's like, Sam, you need to go out. You need to get some long distance. You need to kind of give your eyes that ability to go further. Because when you're in front of a screen all day, you don't have to look long. You're just right there, and it can definitely be detrimental in the long term. So a little off topic, but yeah. So other question about Chat GPT, right? You know, what about the new generation? Is it going to, you know, bleed creativity away, or is it going to add creativity? You know, what do you think? Are some people going to be lazy, or is it going to actually spawn a whole new era of creativity?
I think it's going to spawn a whole new era of creativity. You know, Chat GPT or any AI model is only going to give out to you as much as you put into it, right? If you're very lazy with your prompts on how you interact with it, then it's going to be very broad when it comes back with you. So if you want something very creative, something very unique, you have to have some level of creativity to be inserting, right? It's almost like the law of equivalent exchange. As ever much input and creativity you put in, is how much creativity you're going to get out from these AIs, right? Until eventually we hit some level of like Tony Stark Jarvis AI, where basically you can be very, very broad and it can just give you all kinds of crazy stuff. But when it comes to the new generations, right? Look at us. Back in the day, they told you, hey, you got to learn math because you're not going to have a calculator everywhere you go. Well, that's definitely changed, right? We have a whole supercomputer in our pockets every single day. Access to all the encyclopedias, libraries are pretty much, you know, obsolete at this point. So Google, ChatGPT, all these AIs are definitely going to influence the new generations and how they come up with school, right? There's a big problem with kids in school right now and using ChatGPT. You know, how do they know whether they're actually doing the homework, or is the ChatGPT doing the homework for them? And they're gonna have to find a balance in it. But I think AI can help a lot more than harm that it can do, used the right way. Right, used the right way, because AI can do lots of harm if used improperly.
Do you know about that coin, Jarvis? I've traded it a little bit. It's a very low cap as an AI coin. It's called JAR.
No, I didn't even know it was a coin. I didn't know.
Yeah, Jarvis. Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, is he talking about Jarvis? All right, so I mean, that kind of sums it up. You're positive about Chat GPT. I'm a little more. I think it's a little more nefarious. I'm a little more watchful.
Chat GPT itself definitely has some biases. Let's leave it at that, right? It has some biases, some limitations. You ask it certain questions, it'll give you certain answers that, you know, doesn't seem like it's a well-balanced machine just yet.
So we're saying it has some it may say one thing about one candidate, but something nice about one candidate. So so it's not open AI. Like, it is closed-minded AI. It seems to have its own.
It has biases.
It does. Sure. Yeah, interesting. So we figured that out already. In case you haven't, and I've seen examples of it on Twitter already. So it looks like it's pretty biased. But you know, again, right? We'll go from there. We'll find out. Microsoft, you know, hey, we know it's coming from BG, right? And so he's had such great press the last year. Anyway, next article we'll break into the topic here is an article dear to my heart, right? If anyone knew me, I got into Phantom at 18 and 22 cents. It was one of my best calls. To this day, I'm like, you know, somewhat known for my Phantom call. Andre Conje ended up leaving it, and it tanked pretty fast. And then, you know, the whole market ended up tanking. Now he's back on. He's saying DeFi is here to stay. I'm with him. You know, I have kind of another idea narrative to this. I watch Cake. I was big into Cake. I got into Cake at 60 cents. It would eventually go, you know, $44. Cake would come down, but it really never went lower than like $3.60, $3.50. It still held a 6x. Not many coins held a 6x from their bottom in the bear market. So, and with that being said, you know, I feel like DeFi really never went anywhere. Like, people were still staking their cake. People were still doing their thing. Of course, it got hit. Of course, there was an issue. Of course, we had, you know, TVLs, and we had a lot of bridges that got hacked. What's your thoughts on, you know, just decentralized finance, Phantom, if you've ever interacted with it, any other new coin that you like? Is there something in the space that you're looking at? Do you have a story or a history to tell, like about, did you ever mine? Were you in the farms? And maybe you weren't. I don't know. It's all good. I just love to know like how deep you were in DeFi,
Yeah, so I definitely got involved with DeFi. I mean, I think DeFi is the future, like the article said, right? I don't think DeFi is going anywhere but up. Decentralized finance is the future. Do a lot of things need to change about it? Of course, right? Was there a lot of people that were hurt because of the crazy promises of the crazy APYs? Of course. But I do think that it is massively important for the ecosystem of crypto in general to keep moving DeFi forward. So I got involved with DeFi. I saw the whole WonderFi and all the other ones that all this crazy APY. I obviously knew that none of that was ever going to be sustainable. Never put in large amounts of money. Very small, $100, $200, just test money that I was willing to throw away just for the experience of how does this actually work, right? How long is this going to be sustainable? So I never got into it where people were throwing in tons of money and they were involved with every single DeFi platform out there. I know a lot of people were, leveraging themselves, taking out loans on their crypto, and then doing all these crazy swaps on these DeFi platforms. Never got that crazy into it, and obviously, one of the biggest ones was USDT or UST with Terra. Right? A lot of people putting their 20% on Anchor Protocol.
It looks so good. It was too good to be true.
Exactly, right. And 20% is small compared to some of these other APYs that we saw on these other platforms, right? 1,000, 2,000, crazy APYs that just wasn't sustainable.
I've seen 1 million. I've seen 3 million% before.
So yeah, all of that has got to change at some point down the line, right? Have some more, real guidelines in there where, you make sustainable businesses, not just prop up a random dApp to promise a bunch of APYs and then, end up rug pulling people, liquidity gets locked, people end up losing money. But I am very bullish on DeFi. I like decentralization a lot. And that's why I'm a proponent of it, even though there's dangers, right? It's the wild, wild west. But that is what comes with freedom, right? If you want freedom, you need to put safety aside, right? If you're trying to go for the safety, right, you're gonna have to give up freedoms, and that's where the centralization, all these things come up. So I'm okay with it being a wild, wild west.
Was that what you're making me think of the famous quote? I think Benjamin Franklin: "Any man that's willing to give up his freedom for security deserves neither," right? That's
exactly.
That's what America was born, man. We went for what we had to do. Me and you, we're pioneers. We went and made our own YouTube channel. We quit our jobs or left positions or went another way, and we threw our hat in the ring and wanted to see where it would take us. I love hanging out with other YouTubers because I know I'm with someone that did something different with their life, and especially crypto YouTubers. Like we went into an industry that like didn't even exist yet, didn't have a lot of faith. No one knew about it. It wasn't like the safe, easy bet. But what did we have? The alternative was a horrible banking system, being trapped, keeping half the world unbanked. And to me, it's just, it serves the people at the top. They get the access to the money the first, right? When they print money, it goes to the people who get it first. The second they use it and put it into circulation, they devalue it. So by the time that printed money even gets to you, it's been devalued so many times and stepped on its value. So that's why I love DeFi. For once we were in control and we could find out what the banks were probably making. Despite us thinking it was crazy, the bank is making 20, 30, 40. There's maybe even 100% on all these weird little instruments that they have that we don't know about. They're not letting you know about them, but they're accessing them all the time. So it gave me so much insight as to how the financial market was actually working. Like DeFi can help people, someone that never did a derivative trade before, because you have to have more money and it's not as easy in the regular market. But here you can trade derivatives. You can do so much more. Now there's DeFi exchanges. We have GMX. We have DYDX, right? I would love, and soon you're going to be able to trade from your wallet in that decentralized exchange. No one holding your funds anymore. Like that's really where it should be.
That's amazing.
That was the McAfee. I mean, he that was his vision, and he kept telling us, soon you're going to be trading on an exchange, and everyone's going to basically be connected with their own hardware wallet, and you won't have to have the exchange hold your money. So. Did you ever important. Suffer a hack? Like, did you do Celsius? Did you do anything like that?
No. So I'm very skeptical, man. Right. Some people call me a conspiracy theorist. I'm very skeptical about trusting anything with ownership of my crypto, right? If it's custodial, I have to put my crypto in somebody else's custody. I'm like, nah, that's not for me. Sorry. I'll do that with, like I said, right, with small little amount of money just to test out the platform, just to experience it, create some content on it, or educate people about it. But me, myself, nah, man, I trust only in myself to self-custody my own crypto, my own money, and I don't trust any other platform with it. So luckily, I never dealt with BlockFi, Celsius, Voyager, none of these problems.
God bless
but
you,
people need to realize that, decentralization is very important. And it takes like you were saying earlier, it takes the good thing about, hanging out with other content creators that are in the crypto space is it takes a very specific perspective, mindset to see what we've seen. Like, hey, this is the future. This has massive potential. More people need to hear about this, and hearing everybody's story on how they got into it, how they eventually moved in, what was that, flip of the switch for them that they said, oh, wait a minute, I can't miss out on this, right? This is a generational movement. This is something that's so massive. It's like, imagine going back to like the 1900s before the stock market was created, and the first people that joined and said, hey, this is something that's going on here, and you need to take a part of this. It's massive. This is going to be stories, right? History is being written right before us, and we are experiencing it. We're part of it right now.
Now, I want my guests to bring in the most alpha they can. We were having a quick conversation before the beginning of this. You got into some NFT talk, right? So could you elaborate maybe on some of your NFT things that you've done with NFTs? I haven't done as much. I've worked with some companies. I did Eternity updates, and they gave me some Shaquille NFTs. I never got a Bored Ape. I didn't get too hard. I kind of let that go up and down as I was trading altcoins. But yeah, I'm like really curious. You don't have to tell us everything, but any story or NFT that you had or what you've done and dived into the NFT world. I'm super excited to find out.
Yeah, for sure, dude. So like at first, like you, right? I never got a Bored Ape. I was super skeptical on all NFTs. I was like, this is money grab, right? This is just, a JPEG. It's like, I don't see any purpose of me buying these pictures for crazy amount. People were selling Ethereum rocks for hundreds of thousands of dollars, dude. It didn't make any sense to me. But, as I kept doing some research, I started listening to Gary Vee, and I started digging deeper into it. I started to see how you could attach utility into these NFTs. And that's where it clicked for me. Like, NFTs with utility is where it's at for me, right? And that's how Keeper and I created Danger Close Alpha, right? That is an NFT project for preppers to get prepared in real life. So what we offer through our NFTs is...
Wait, explain this again. Danger Close Alpha. Yeah. Right?
Look Danger Close Alpha. Yeah.
Look at that. He's got he's got the bulletproof vest on. He's going hard. Look at this. This is awesome. I saw them in Miami. They had the bulletproof vests on. They were going all through at Decentral. It was awesome, man. That was awesome. That's really
so
cool.
We offer just real life experiences, real life education about prepping, being prepared, real life problems that are happening around the world. We've talked about, the food facilities catching fire, supply chain problems, everything that's happening, right? We talk about it, we let our people know, and we've partnered up with other prepper companies that are in Web 2, and we're trying to bridge them into Web 3. And through our partnership, right, we are able to provide real life utility, right? Our people are going out to a 3-day survival boot camp here in May, where people are going to be learning over 100 courses, exactly whatever they want to learn about preparing. So that's where I see the utility of NFTs is just real life utility.
Wait. Sign me up for this. I want to do this. Can I do this? Like,
dude, for sure I can hook you up, bro. We got a bug out bag. I can hook you up with one.
I'm gonna have my wife hook you up. I'm coming, man, and I'm gonna vlog it. Will I be able to do my live stream and hit a Wi-Fi somewhere if I can?
Yes. Yeah. You should be able to hit live stream. We're gonna be live streaming some of our classes from the classes there as well, because some of it is virtual access to everybody that can't make it to the real life event. We're going to be camping out there. We got our own private camping grounds on the event itself. So we're going to have a great time out there, dude. So I hope you come. It's going to be fun.
Honestly, because I've always been the reason I got into crypto was self-sufficient, get away from people telling you they're going to take care of you. Everything's going to be fine. No, I'll make sure everything's going to be fine for myself. I'll get my chickens. I'll get my grain. I'll grow my food. And right now I live in a suburb. I live in the city, it's considered city. It's like it feels more rural. I have woods and stuff, but no one has chickens. You have to go like one more hour or half an hour away to the farms and stuff in Western Mass. I do get my raw milk from a farm. Like I get all my stuff from local farms, but like I want to know more about this, and I wouldn't mind like opening up a part of my Discord to I guess you kind of have to be niche, but you know, even yesterday, I think this morning, I put out a video about a guy who's, you know, get your own chickens, make sure you have some chickens. And I would love to learn from you guys. This is one thing that I lack, but I desire, right? And oh man, self-sufficiency, taking care of yourself, right? Would you call it a survival boot camp, right?
Yeah, it's a 3-day survival boot camp, right? There's
So
100
cool,
classes
man.
being taught by experts.
Do you teach us like what mushrooms to eat and like what?
I mean, it's everything from firearms to self-defense to blacksmithing to archery. Like, you know, there's going to be crypto classes that we're going to be teaching on there as well. I mean, there's over 100 classes. So whatever topic you can think of, it's being taught there.
Whoa, like you guys are going to blow up, man. This is huge. Real life events with NFTs, debate crypto, blockchain crusader, crypto
Let's
keeper,
hope so,
man.
dude. We're trying to help people out.
Hey, man, that's how I started, and that's where it goes, bro. Like I started with an idea to help other people. I never had a dollar sign in my head. I know people look at me now like, yeah, you did. I'm telling you right now, I just threw up a little crypto channel. I started talking about things that I loved. I had no clue I would end up where I'm at. I had no clue I'd end up on around the blockchain. I had no clue I would meet Ben, you, all these people, go to my, like, you know, I just wanted to do something that I wanted to do. I desired to change my life. I desired to go after something that made me curious. So, man, I love your story, man. This is awesome.
I appreciate it. And I agree with you, right? It's like following the passion, following the dream. The money is a side effect of how passionate you are of what you're trying to achieve. And once you achieve it, the money comes. But the people that go in, right, that's why a lot of people make mistakes with crypto is they come in just for the money. Oh, I just want to make a quick flip. Oh, I just want to make 100x. And they want to get rich quick. Those people always get burned. Those people don't make sustainable businesses because they're just thinking about money. But if you're following a passion with something that you're really, you're not just skilled in, but, you actually have a dream for it, you make that dream into reality, the money will come on its own.
Yeah, like money cannot buy passion. Like you can, you have all the money in the world, you cannot buy that grit, and that grit will get you through the lowest times in your life. Everyone will, you think like no one's behind you, you'll think it's nothing, but if you want it that bad, if you're that passionate, you'll never see an excuse, you'll never see a roadblock, you'll never see an obstacle. You'll only see a way to get around that obstacle, a way to keep moving.
Dude, 100%.
And talk about Ben again, but I went out to Sin City Crypto, out to Las Vegas. I lost an internet connection. They hit me up on Twitter, hooked me up. Next thing you know, I'm in their studio. That was like, to this day, one of the coolest experiences of my life. You know what I mean? Like now I have friends in Vegas, right? And then when Ben came to Boston, I was like, yo, use my studio. Like I know you need a studio. And people don't realize if you stream every day, it's like putting on your underwear. Like if you don't have your underwear on, you don't feel right. Like you got to be able to stream every day. If you can't stream every day, you feel like locked in, So anyone out there, if you ever can reach out, YouTubers in some random city and you can hook them up, let them know you got a studio for them. I'm telling you, you could really make their day, and you could make a great connection with that too as well. Cool. I mean, that's amazing. All right, we're going to jump into our next topic. Here's our next article. Dr. Doom warns of increased weaponization of the dollar, right? The U.S. trying to take over. Can they? Everyone's seeing what's going on. And you got China and Russia starting to dabble with like a petro type of dollar, something like that. Ever since Bretton Woods, you'd have to go through the dollar to buy your petro. That may change. We may see a changing of the tides. This is, something that a lot of people don't really realize or think about. But this is something that's coming. And the dollar isn't going to be king forever. I don't see, and especially with the politics and the polarization of politics recently. What are your thoughts on this? I'm sure you're a huge fan of the U.S. dollar. Let me know how you feel,
Yeah, dude. So we talk about this a lot, right? The U.S. dollar is dying. The weaponization of the dollar used against other countries, right? It's awesome being number one, right? It's awesome living in the United States, right? I'm a huge patriot. I don't want nobody thinking out there I'm some type of like commie or something, because I'm not. But, you got to see it from the other perspective, right? Other countries have felt what's happened since the fog around the world started, that, the increase of inflation with the US dollar, everybody has their reserves in US dollars. That affects them even harder, right? We're feeling it now in the United States. Imagine these other countries, how they're feeling. So the Saudis, right, have talked about moving their position away from the dollar and increasing their position in Chinese currency. They've also talked about being open to taking another currency for the oil, not just US dollars. We got the BRIC nations coming together, trying to create their own currency as well, backed by gold and other commodities. And these countries are powerhouses. They're working together. The U.S. dollar, everybody I think sees at this point, is on its last legs. It's just one of these things that happen. It's a cycle. Unfortunately, every currency in history has collapsed at some point, and it's always been dealt to the fact of money manipulation. And the dollar has been manipulated heavily for a long time, right? We got off the gold standard, and even before then it was manipulated. So getting off the gold standard just allowed for the acceleration of the manipulation to happen. And we saw that happen during the fog around the world, where like close to 80% of all dollars that are circulating right now were printed in the last 2 years. So these rate hikes now is not going to save the dollar from where we're headed. And this debt system is only so sustainable for so long until you have to default, right? This is already in circulation and talks about defaulting on U.S. debt and, continuously raising the debt ceiling. That's not a sustainable business model where you're constantly just living off debt. At some point, the chickens come home to roost, and it's time to pay up.
Yeah, like China, like they're never gonna get that money back. They bought all those government bonds. Like, yeah, it's like, oh, come on, man. Like,
no, but that's why they're buying. That's why they're buying American land, right? That's why they're buying lots of land around military bases, around very high-profile areas in the United States. And I think my theory, right, my conspiracy theory, is that is the way they're getting paid back. They're being allowed to do this because they know that the U.S. can't pay them back. So they're like, hey, you have land. We want some of it, and that's how they're getting it. They're getting their payback.
So that's how you stop war, huh? Like, because China get pissed, and they're gonna be like, "Where's our money?" Right? So I feel like we have to bring it up now. The balloon. I mean, right? I feel like I didn't know we were gonna bring it to the balloon, but I feel like we're now here at the balloon. I was pretty upset. I'll be honest. I didn't think I was upset until because I'm in the charts so much, I don't give my mind enough time. But like I'm in the charts all day. I'm hearing it from upstairs, the news, I'm watching Twitter. And then when I end my day, like I have my dinner and I have my time with my wife, I'm like, what is going on with this gosh dang balloon? I'm like, shoot it down immediately. Like take it out. Like tell everyone in the space where it's coming and get it out. Like how did it sail around the United States? Like this is something that 10 years ago would have been insane. Like people would have been freaking out. Like people would have been like, what is going on? 10 years ago, people would have been freaking out. They would have been like, what is going on? Like, this is absolute insanity. Was that also because of the debt? Like, how come they let that thing hide out? What is your idea about this? You got the camel on, you got the bulletproof vest on, you guys are survivalists. Like, what is going on with this balloon?
Yeah.
Man? Like,
my theory is, besides the fact that this happens, all countries are spying on each other all the time, right? Even though there's not a hot conflict, there is always cold conflicts happening, right? Countries are always testing each other, testing their vulnerabilities, hacks, cyber attacks, right? This is spying on each other.
How long did you work in the CIA? I'm just checking.
So this is always constantly happening. The balloon thing is nothing new. It's not the first time a balloon flies over the United States. It's just the first time that they publicly have to address it in the way they did, and the fact that they were so soft and easygoing about it is what's made a lot of people stir up their feelings about it, because has been other balloons over other administrations, and all these things are always happening, but it's a test, right? It's a test of,
like, was it clickbait? Reaction. Like, what was going on? Was there something else going on that they didn't want us to see? Like, because to me, when it's that obvious, it's usually that obvious. It's not the thing that they want you to see when it's what they want you to see.
It's a distraction.
Yeah, like what? I was trying to figure out in my mind, what is going on right now that they want you to look at this balloon? You know what I mean?
Well, the debt ceiling, right? They've had the talks about debt ceiling, debt defaults, right? The dollar is in trouble, and they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to squirm their way through it, right? We have another presidential election coming up here in the next 2 years, a year and a half or so. So all of these things play the factor, but the balloon, right? It was an experiment, not just on the American people.
It was a psyop.
Yeah, exactly right. Not just on the American people, but the Chinese were testing us. They were saying, let's see how the administration reacts to having a balloon over them. It crossed the entire United States. They waited until it got to the Atlantic to, shoot it down. And then now China's saying, we're reserving our rights to, react to this, however they want to react to it, because they take it as an act of aggression.
But you flying it. So if I,
you're flying,
so
the
if I
balloon,
walk
but
on your
according to them-
property and hang out, and you tell me to get off, you're aggressive, right? It's like, dude, you were on my property. You know, it's like, get off my property, man. Like,
That's how it works in America, but apparently it doesn't work like that in China, right? So they're definitely pissed about it. But what did we learn from it? How people reacted, right? America learned how willing were the American people allowed their government to react the way they did, right? People called for it to be shot down. People said, "Hey, do something about it." The government didn't do anything until way later. And that is data collection. It is the same thing exactly with the fog around the world. We learned a lot about how people quickly divided into different camps of thinking, how people were instantly reacting to certain situations and calling for certain actions to be done. So it's all part of the distraction and the illusion, but at the same time, data collecting on people.
You seem to be like tactical. Like I feel like if I gave you a pair of night vision goggles, you'd know exactly what to do with them. I would look at them and so what was on the balloon? Was it, infrared? Could it see through walls? What do you think they were grabbing? Like, and what could they grab? And what was the point? Like, what do you think they were doing there? Like, were they trying to get data out of Area 51, Groom Lake? What's going on with Yellowstone? Like, there's all this Yellowstone garbage lately, right? With Kevin Costner and Yellowstone. Like, what's going on? Like, what do you think they were, like, what type of technology was on the balloon? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I don't think it was anything crazy because it was too obvious to be anything crazy, right? They knew that at some point it would get shot down. The US is going to retrieve it, right? Look at it, take it. So I don't think anything crazy was going to be on there. I think it's basic technology, right? Basic spyware, just to look around, get a surveillance of the land, see where certain things are tactically, and whatever else that they're looking for over the United States in general. And besides the experiment of people's reactions and test the force between governments, I don't think it's anything wild. If it's going to be something wild, it'd be more like a Chinese like UFO flying over the US, right? They have way better tech and drones and all kinds of technology. If they really want to get some high sensitive data and make
we wouldn't even know about it. Like,
they
have bugs. I heard they have nanobugs. They can let the bug out, like 100 bugs, and they die or whatever. But they keep sending information.
You're up to date. You're up to date with the stuff. You know what's going on.
Yeah, they got the bugs, man. Like they got it all, man. So, well, the next time we have any issue like this, or there's any breach of security, you're definitely coming on the stream. You're going to be my go-to for like tactical and, just breaching of boundaries. This has been awesome, man. I've had a blast. You're definitely coming on the show again. We get along too well. This was just too easy for me to talk with you. I feel like you're my brother. I could talk to you till the end of time, man. This has been like really, awesome. Really fun.
We would love to have you on the show too, dude. On Debate Crypto, we talk all kinds of stuff, right? We do TA as well. You've been on the show already one time, dude. We'd love to have you on.
Yeah, just let me know whenever.
It's great, bro.
I always get hit up on. I had a Telegram for a long time, and then I moved to Discord, so I never check my Telegram ever. But I know Telegram was like it is the thing for crypto people. But like I've just been so in my Discord world, and I didn't like Discord at all. I thought it was for gamers and nerds, and I wouldn't touch it. I was like, no, I'm on my Telegram, but everyone convinced me that like it was easier to run a trading group through Telegram. I could have everything in a nice, neat format. It is. It's just way more. It's way easier. But so yeah, don't check my Telegram all the time. So I'll definitely link up my wife with you guys, and whenever you want, you just hit my wife up, and she's the one who can be like, yeah, she runs my schedule, and like usually last minute I can jump in. But I mean, next week, any week, I had a really good time on your guys' show, and I'll do it whenever I had the chance. I had a blast. So,
dude, that's awesome.
It makes me kind of sad to end the interview. I could sit with you for the rest of the day. This was awesome. And there's a lot I could learn from you. I really yearn for your survival knowledge. That's something that I want,
Appreciate it.
I don't think you're rich until you know how to survive alone. Like that doesn't, just because you have $1 billion in the bank, you're not rich. You don't have wealth if you don't know how to if you can't go out into the wilderness and survive on your own, like you don't have it. You don't have all facets. You don't have everything checked off, So
when the stuff hits the fan, right? If you can't protect yourself, none of that money, all that gold, all that silver isn't going to buy you any protection at that time, right? You need to have the skills. You need to have other resources, not just for bartering, but for survivability. And that all entails a large skill set. If not, it's not going to happen, right? Because there's other people that do have those skills and, they're just going to take your gold, take your silver, and see you later.
Yeah, Crab Magna, you right out of the picture real quick. Oh, man, let's end this on a great note. We're both smiling and super happy on this Tuesday. Thank you so much for coming on into the stream. I appreciate your time. Any last things you want to say? Tell everyone where they can find you, your Twitter, your YouTube, all that information. Let everybody know. And yeah, just end the stream with your last few words. And then everyone, thank you so much. And that's it for me.
Yeah, awesome, man. I want to say thank you again for bringing us on the show. Right, next time we're gonna get Keeper in here as well. We're gonna have a great conversation. But you can find us on Debate Crypto on YouTube, on Twitter, we're Debate Crypto OG, and Danger Close Alpha as well on Twitter. It's Danger Close Alf without the A. It was too long of a name. But you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Debate Crypto, and we stream Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern every single day. And it's just a great time being on here, having a conversation with you. So once again, appreciate you bringing us on, dude, and gotta have you on our show as well.
So this should stream tonight. So remember, when you're watching this tonight, remember tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time, you're gonna be able to get that alpha, get that knowledge. And maybe even more than crypto, this guy seems to know a lot more than the average crypto YouTubers, man. He's going to be my go-to for a lot of other deep dive information. So thanks again, man, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a blessed day.
You too.